Hello all. So today we'll start with the first session of natural language processing. So looking at the contents, so we'll be looking about we'll be seeing about the introduction, basic concepts of NLP, and then we'll see the definition, scope of NLP, where NLP actually fits in AI, and then we will see the applications of NLP. When we look into the real world applications in our day to day life, all of us are using AI in one or the other way. One such application of AI or one such subfield of AI which we are using in our day to day lives is all about natural language processing. For example, when we talk about Siri, Alexa, the virtual assistants which we use for every single action of that we do, or Google search engine which is updated with voice, is an application of natural language processing. So, as the name says, natural language processing. Machine learning is all about giving machine the ability to learn. Similarly, not just giving the machine ability to learn with respect to text, but giving machine ability to understand and process the language is all about natural language processing. When we look into the basic definition or introduction, it says natural language processing is an area of computer science and artificial intelligence which are concerned with interaction between computers and humans. So the natural language that humans speak should be processed and understood by computers. So this task of computer processing the human language is called as natural language processing. So the ultimate goal of NLP is to help computers understand the language like how we humans understand the language. So basically NLP is a subfield of AI. So as we have earlier studied about machine learning and deep learning, along with machine learning and deep learning, NLP is also another subset of AI. So here the computer understands, analyzes and derives the meaning from the human language in a smart and useful way. This is all about the basic definition of NLP. So what NLP actually does? When you talk about natural language processing, so there are two aspects of NLP. One thing is converting your voice language into text, that is speech to text, and sometimes text to speech also. So NLP performs both the task. It has the capabilities of converting your speech language to text, that is it can process your speech language to text data or the text data to speech language as well. So when you talk for need for NLP, what is the need for NLP? So when we are in the era of artificial intelligence, when we talk about AI, suppose let's take a robot. Okay, so in machine learning we have seen that the machine has the capability to understand the data. When we go for deep learning, we have seen the machine has the capability to understand images and process the images. So the next thing that a human can do apart from understanding the text and data is all about the language. Okay, so when you differentiate a human and a machine, the one thing that mostly differentiates is all about the way humans speak. So why not we give the ability for a machine to understand the speech, which will be useful for so many applications like virtual assistants or chatbots. Okay, so for that reason, see, when we talk about chatbots, when we talk about text summarization, when we talk about virtual assistants, all these applications have come into picture only with natural language processing. So when you talk about AI, when you talk about computer science, if you want AI to be fulfilled, not just along with machine learning and deep learning, if the entire AI is filled only when human language comes into picture. So AI is a field of computer science in which human language helps to complete that particular thing. Okay, so for processing this human language in the field of computer science, we'll be making use of natural language processing. Human language are interesting but challenging. When I talk about challenges faced by the computer to understand human language are two things. One is there are so many ambiguities in the sentence. What does that sentence actually mean? And second ambiguity lies in different languages. English is not the only language that the computer has to understand. When we talk about language translation, which is an application of NLP, any language around the world should be converted from one form to another form. Like Google translation that we use. So give a sentence in one language and then immediately it will be converted to another language that we want. So when we talk about language translation as an application of NLP, we have to, the computer understands that in different ways. So this makes NLP quite challenging because not just one language, we have multiple languages and the meaning of each sentence varies from one another. So that is the reason we say NLP is challenging task and we have to face so many ambiguities. So let's look into few of them. So there are two things that we have to consider when we talk about language. First thing is the structure and the second one is semantics. When I talk about structure, it means how sentences are formed, the grammar part of it. Okay. Now when I talk about semantics, it actually says what that sentence actually mean. Okay. So making computer understand all this grammar is quite challenging and we'll see how do we overcome that challenges such that we get good results. Okay. Now let's, for example, let's look into this particular sentence. The sentence here says he saw a girl with a telescope. So I would like to depict this with a picture. So as you can see, there are three images here. Okay, and the sentence here says he saw a girl with a telescope. So what does what does this sentence actually mean? So I think about this sentence in two different ways. Okay, what are the possibilities of these sentences? First thing can be, is it the boy who's using a telescope to see a girl? See, it says he saw a girl with a telescope. So is it this one, the boy seeing a girl with a telescope? He is seeing this particular girl with a telescope. Is that the meaning? Or the girl who has a telescope and is seen by a boy. There is another girl holding a telescope in his hand and this boy has seen her. Right. So until and unless, see, as humans looking at the picture, we will be able to depict that sentence. But when you give this particular to a machine will have the ambiguity in understanding this sentence because it has two different meanings. So at least I have, for this particular image and sentence, I have two interpretations. Okay. Now this particular thing is one ambiguity which we call it as syntactic ambiguity. Okay. Now the reason behind this ambiguity is because the sentence is so confusing for the machine. As a human, you can either give option A or B, but when it comes to human, nobody will be guiding the human. Okay, the machine should understand the actual meaning, but actually the machine is confused here because it doesn't know about prepositional phrases. Okay, PPs. So making the machine understand prepositional phrase is a challenging task, will be one of the challenging tasks in natural language processing. Okay. Now this particular thing, maintaining PP attachment to the problem, is called as syntactic ambiguity. Okay. So this is one kind of problem that we face. And second one, coming for the next ambiguity, let us see another sentence which says I saw a bat. Okay. Now when I talk about this sentence, I have multiple meanings for bat. When I say bat, mammal bat or cricket bat. Okay. Now when I talk about saw also, I saw a bat. I used some weapon to saw that particular bat to make it into a shape, or I saw the bat with my eyes. I don't have any other sentence preceding that when I talk about I saw a bat with my eyes. So it means that that saw represents seeing. Okay, but the sentence does not have any other sentence ahead and I have two other meanings for this particular thing. Both of them are similar, but the exact meaning of that particular word in the sentence actually makes the difference, which machine may not be able to understand. So this particular example has this ambiguity which is called as semantic ambiguity. Okay, so this is how meaning of the word or a sentence, not its structure. Here the structure is not the problem, the meaning of the word, because that word has multiple meanings in the given sentence. So this ambiguity is called as semantic ambiguity. So here bat and saw has two different meanings. So this is called as semantic ambiguity. Okay, so what exactly do we study, or what exactly we go through different phrases to understand NLP. So ambiguity is what we have to consider when we want to study natural language processing, because that is a very challenging task. And second thing is, compiler can run a piece of text or code or image, that is very easy, but for a compiler to understand the language and depict the meaning in the exact way like how human does, is a challenging task. So for this we have to face some complexities also. So we have this principled way to solve all these, not just the basic libraries that we have used for machine learning and deep learning. We look into some advanced libraries in the subject to understand all these ambiguities to solve the NLP tasks. Okay, so this is all about natural language processing. So welcome to the world of natural language processing. Okay, now when we talk about NLP, how does this actually work is a big question. Okay, so when I talk about this, NLP actually combines field of linguistics, because not just computer science, but you also have to understand. See, when I talk about PP, or when I talk about ambiguity, semantic, syntactic, we have other types of ambiguities also, right? So NLP is a combination, not just a combination of computer science, but also field of linguistics, such that we can decipher the language structure and we can use some guidelines to design the models. Okay, because when I talk about NLP task, I have two different tasks. I can have text or speech, that is voice, right? So if you want to solve these two NLP tasks, natural language processing task with respect to text or speech, you should learn about linguistics as well as some basics of computer science, AI and ML. Okay, now what techniques do we actually use? When I talk about the techniques that we use in NLP, we use different computational linguistics. We also use machine learning, because even this is all about predictions, right? So we use machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms. Along with that, we also use statistical modeling. So combination of linguistics, machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, we analyze, we understand, we manipulate the data, which includes text and speech, such that your computer will be able to understand. Okay. Now NLP, as I told you, like how we have studied about algorithms in machine learning and deep learning, NLP also has range of algorithms that solves the problem dealing with text and speech. Okay, so when I talk about task that NLP takes, we have translation, language translation, text summarization, document summarization, text generation, like what ChatGPT does, your Tesseract does. Okay, so all these are applications of your natural language processing. Okay, now where does this NLP actually fit in the space of AI? Okay, so natural language processing, machine learning, deep learning, AI are all used interchangeably. When I talk about NLP, I say that for designing one particular task or for designing a model to solve NLP task, I make use of deep learning algorithm or machine learning algorithm. So all of them work interchangeably, but AI is a broad field is what I can say. Under AI umbrella, we have studied machine learning, we have studied deep learning, and now we are going to study about NLP. So the knowledge on ML, DL and NLP will mostly complete your AI applications. Okay, now when we talk about AI is the part of greater field of AI, is the broad subject, okay, greater field of computer science that enables computers to solve problems like how humans solve. Okay, so if you want to have a replica of a human like a robo, okay, that is all about your AI. So AI is not just the one step. Okay, so in order to achieve this particular thing, we have studied machine learning, which is an application of AI that provides a system to ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. We develop machine learning algorithms such that it understands and predicts the text data. Now after machine learning, we have looked into deep learning, which is also again a branch of AI that teaches computer to process the data like how human brain works. Like we have studied about neural networks in deep learning, right? How neurons work like a human. Okay, so we have that biological neurons which works like artificial neurons which works like biological neurons, and with that neural networks we have studied that machine learning has the capability to understand like how human does with respect to images, right? So it process pictures, text, some sounds and produce accurate insights and predictions. Now when I talk about natural language processing, so this is also a form of AI. Now this gives the machine ability not to just read or understand the images, but to understand human language. Okay, so machine learning, we have started with text, images, text and sound, and then here is the human language processing such that the computer will respond to that. Okay. Now let's look into some applications of NLP. So in our day-to-day lives, everywhere we use NLP. For example, let's take language translation. Google language translation is one such good example. How we use that. Smart assistants or virtual assistants, which we call it as, document analysis, online search engine, predictive text, automatic summarization of the text data, social media monitoring, chatbots, sentiment analysis, email filtering. All these are different applications of NLP. Let's look into few applications in detail. So Amazon's Alexa, Apple Siri are the prime applications of natural language processing. Okay. So what do? We give the voice message. I use my virtual assistants everywhere, in a car to play music, or at home to operate my electronic devices elsewhere. So that is how I give my text. I am giving my data in terms of my voice, and my machine is able to understand that voice, process and respond accordingly. And yeah, this is one such example. So okay Google, play attention, and then that voice is processed and say sure, playing attention by Charlie, and then in Spotify, and then the song is automatically played. This is one application. When I talk about spelling correction, okay, Microsoft uses, when we make a document or when we type a document, if you have any spelling mistake, so automatically we will be getting errors. So this is one application. See, it is understanding the language and knowing that the spelling of established is wrong here, and it gives some specific marking along with the suggestions taken. So this is one application of NLP. And then machine translation, I have given a statement from one language, I want to convert from English to Hindi. So I have written a statement and that is converted from one language to another. Language translation is one such application of NLP. Chatbot, okay. So we use chatbots everywhere for any, any website or any app, or everywhere we use this chatbot. So this is also one of the most important applications of NLP. And then sentiment analysis, whenever you buy a product on e-commerce website, you will be asked for the review, and based on the review, the machine understands the review, the terms in the review, it understands the terms in the review, and segregates that whether it is a positive review, negative review or neutral. Okay. Sentiment analysis is one of the most important application of natural language processing. And emails, okay, when somebody sends email, they won't send the email into either inbox, spam or this thing. Once they receive the message, this is text data, okay, this is not voice. When I talk about email, we receive text data, and based on the words or ambiguity in that particular email, that email is automatically moved either to inbox or spam. Okay, this is also another application of natural language processing. Now when I talk about text summarization, these days, when I give you a book of 1,000 pages, I don't want the entire book, I want chapter wise summary, so that I'll understand what exactly the book is all about. Okay, if you want such things also, we have this flexibility. NLP does that task. It takes a big data and summarizes that into the summary form, and then give you the short data. So text summarization is also another application of NLP. Okay, so this is all about what NLP is all about, what are the challenges that we face when we work with NLP, how NLP works, and then different applications, or where exactly are we using NLP in the current scenario. Thank you.